Today on Review This Thing, we're going to review this thing, the Forloh Method Pack System. Hey, this is Robbie with Review This Thing, where our goal is to give you the most honest, thorough, unbiased, unpaid reviews on YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking about the Forloh Method Pack System. Earlier this year, I started planning a backcountry elk hunting trip, and I knew I was going to need a better pack than the one I had used last time. So I did a bunch of researching online, talked to a bunch of different people, and was finally able to put my hands on this pack when we were in Montana this summer. And I was really impressed with it. I've taken it on some backpacking trips around home, used it for a week in Colorado, and I've actually been using it throughout deer season to get more of a feel for it. So I'm ready to tell you guys what I think. Let's review this thing. As you know, we're going to give you the facts. The first part is fit. The Forloh Method Pack System comes in 2 different frame heights and 2 different hip belt sizes. The frames also have 3 different torso attachment points for the shoulder straps to make them longer or shorter. As I mentioned, there's 2 different hip belt sizes, both of which have a Velcro hook and loop behind the lumbar padded area, which makes them so adjustable. The hip belt itself is actually really easy to adjust because of this reversed hip belt cinch system, where you pull in instead of pulling across, makes it much easier to adjust the hip belt. The shoulder straps have plenty of strap for adjustment. At the top of them are load lifter straps to pull the load closer to you, and in the middle of it is a chest strap to secure it across the front of your chest. So I'm 5'10", about 180, with about a 34-inch waist, and I have the 22-inch frame height with a small to medium hip belt, and it fits me just the way I want it to. Based on all these adjustments, the 2 different frame heights and the 2 different hip belt sizes, you should be able to easily get it to fit you also. The second part of fit is, does it fit your type of hunting? So I've been using this pack during deer season, and most of my walks are shorter. I'm walking in the morning, hunting in the morning, and walking back out. So for deer hunting, the way I deer hunt, it's way much more pack than I need. But it fit my elk hunting needs perfectly because I was able to carry everything I need and then some, if you've seen that video, and could have easily spent 2 or 3 nights out in the backcountry using this pack. So for fit, because of the 2 different frame length options, the 2 different hip belt sizes, all the adjustments on it, and the fact that it fit my elk hunting needs, I'm going to give fit a 5 out of 5. Now is the Forloh Method Pack System as advertised. The first thing they advertise is that this is the most versatile backcountry pack system you'll own. That's probably the part that made this review one of the hardest ones I've done so far, because there were so many different aspects of it to test. The entire pack system itself only weighs about 6.2 pounds empty. The pack is made of 210D fabric, which is a strong, flexible, and very lightweight material that's also waterproof, which means you don't have to buy an extra rain cover. The pack also comes standard with a rifle or bow sling, which helps secure your weapon to the backside of the pack. The frame is actually outfitted with a fold-away meat shelf with plenty of attachments for securing your game bags, which I didn't get to test with elk meat, unfortunately. I did grab a couple of frozen pork shoulders out of the freezer. I didn't hike for miles with it like you would if you were elk hunting, but I definitely jumped around, twisted and everything, and I couldn't get any of the meat to move. So it does seem like a very versatile system. They also advertise that the Forloh Method Pack System is completely waterproof. Now the 210D nylon fabric already comes with some waterproofing, but the pack is also coated with a TPU coating, which Google says is thermoplastic polyurethane, which is a rubber-like, plastic-like coating meant to be UV resistant, stand up to extreme weather, aid in noise proofing, and resist abrasions and punctures. And it's built with a bathtub bottom, which means the bottom third of the pack has fully welded seams all the way around. So if you were to set your pack down in any kind of water, it shouldn't get moisture on the inside of it. We did our own waterproof testing on this pack, which basically means we took everything out of it, stuffed it with paper towels, and took a water hose to it. Then we took the paper towels out to see if they were still dry. Pretty much everything inside the pack was still totally dry, with only a few spots of the paper towels being a little bit damp. Those spots were mostly around the seams, especially where any kind of outside cloth attachment came inside to the inside seam. I'll probably spray the seams with some of the waterproofing spray just in case we're caught out in the rain. I did sit out in the snow one day for about 6 hours, where the pack was literally sitting right in the snow and getting snow on it the whole time. I only noticed just a few things in the top of the pack were barely damp, and that was right around those seams like we just mentioned. Had I taken my normal pack, I would have either had to have gotten a rain cover out and put it over top of it, and then had difficulty getting to any of the pockets on the pack, or it would have been soaking wet by the time I got done with that hunt. And yes, that has definitely happened as well. One of the other things that they advertise is that weight doesn't shift once it's packed in there, and the pack isn't squeaky. I haven't had any difficulty with weight shifting around once I got everything stitched down, but obviously if you don't tighten those straps up, weight's probably going to shift around. Now, full disclosure, the first pack I got from Forloh had quite a bit of squeak in it. I contacted customer service. After several phone calls with them and actually a couple of videos sent to them, they ended up sending me a new frame and hip belt, and this one doesn't squeak at all. So don't hesitate to contact customer service if you get a pack and it's not exactly what you want. So because it's definitely versatile, virtually noise-proof once I got the new pack, and waterproof except for a few things getting damp just around the seams, I'm going to give, as advertised, a 4.8 out of 5. Now, on to construction and durability. The first thing I'll mention about all Forloh products is that they're 100% made in the USA. This pack is designed with two components, the CX Lite frame and the Method 4400 pack body. The frame alone is strengthened by carbon stays, 2 vertical on each side and 3 horizontal. It has a quadruple foam padded and mesh belt, back, and shoulder straps. I really like the padding in all these straps. I've only had a couple of times where I felt like the hip belt was pinching me just a little bit, but that was mostly my fault, and once I readjusted things, I've had no trouble with it. It has RECO, search and rescue technology, built into the hip belt, which is basically a passive system that allows search and rescue people to find you with a directional radar and the RECO reflector on your hip belt. Thankfully, we didn't have to test this out, but it was there if we needed it. The hip belt has 1 zipper pocket on each side. The hip belt design also left me with enough room to use the bow spider, which is how I carried my bow biggest part of the time, and the Bendables bugle tube holder. Last but not least, there are binocular attachments on the shoulder straps, but I use that strap as a place to hold my water bladder hose. Now onto the pack. There's 4 main compartments, 2 small ones up top, 1 middle one that spans about 75% of the pack, and then the big pocket that spans the whole length of the pack. It has a zipper system all the way around that lets you fold the pack completely open and find what you're looking for, because what you're looking for is inevitably always at the bottom of the pack. There are 2 straps on the bottom of the pack which you could use to easily carry your sleeping pad roll. Each side of the pack has 3 compression straps also, which make it easy to cinch down any size load. Each side of the pack has a small pocket on the outside. It makes it really easy to carry a thermos or an extra bottle of water, and there's even a strap to cinch that down to make sure you don't lose it. I definitely like all the extras this pack comes with. As far as durability goes, I know I said they sent me a new frame, but the pack is the same pack I've had since July. I've thrown it in and out of the truck, I've used it on numerous hikes, and I haven't been able to do anything to damage it. I haven't intentionally tried to damage it, but it has definitely stood up against my type of hunting. The only thing I would really like to see improved, if there was a better way to make sure it was completely waterproof, so your things near the seams don't get a little bit damp. So for construction and durability, I'm going to give it a 4.9 out of 5. Now for testimonials and reviews. You know we like to find scored reviews and really tell you what the people on the 1 and 2 star end of it say. But this pack just came out in June. The only scored reviews we could find were on the Forloh website, and all of them were a 5 out of 5. I did try to find a few articles to see if anybody had any complaints about it. The only complaints I could find were about shoulder straps slipping, which I can only assume is meant they just have to keep readjusting the shoulder straps as they were hiking. I had a little bit of trouble with that too, but I don't know that I've ever had a pack that it didn't slip just a little bit. The other complaint was that the frame was too short for taller people. Forloh has addressed this, as they now have those 2 different frame height sizes. You guys know we're going to give you the score that we find, and that score was a 5 out of 5. And finally, should I buy this thing? If you guys have watched any of our other videos, you're going to know it depends. If you're looking for a pack to take in and out of the woods on short hunts, this may be a little bit too much pack for you. But if you're looking for a pack to carry on multiple day hunting trips, carry all the stuff you need for camping, provide a great place to help you carry out your trophy and the meat from that trophy, and provide you with all the extras we covered, then this might be the pack for you. The only thing I'm going to take a little bit off for is the cost. The whole pack system comes in at $825. You could easily spend that on other packs, especially adding some of the extras that this pack already comes with, but that's still a lot of money. So for should I buy this thing, I'm going to give the Forloh Method Pack System a 4.85 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching our Forloh Method Pack System review. While you're here, watch several other videos. If you like the videos, give them a like and comment below to let us know. If you really like it, share us with all your friends and subscribe if you haven't. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Check out our podcast on multiple platforms and go to reviewthisthingtv.com for more content.